Good morning, North Dakota! Chip Wanamaker here with NoDak News, broadcasting live from our studio in Chokecherry on this Thursday, May 4th, 2023. Let's get right into today's weather. It's gonna feel like a perfect summer day out there, folks. 72 and sunny with a slight breeze, like we're living in Southern California instead of central North Dakota. Make sure to get outside and enjoy it because we have a nasty thunderstorm system that'll be hitting us hard tomorrow. It's time for your local traffic report. Looks like everyone's trying to get into work early today. We're seeing heavier than normal traffic on all of our major inbound roads into downtown. Seems like everyone is trying to do the classic early in, early out so they can enjoy some of this weather. The South Side Bridge seems to be the most congested right now, so you may want to avoid that area on your commute. On to the news. May the 4th be with you. That's right, the 4th of May means it's National Star Wars Day. Fans are still raving about another fantastic season of The Mandalorian, with the third season coming out earlier this year on Disney+. Local Star Wars fans can get right into the spirit today by heading down to the Prairie Rose Park gazebo. Fans will be gathering in costume at high noon to celebrate the occasion with a little cosplay competition. Cash prizes will be awarded for the best costumes, and if you plan to participate, I'd just like to say, may the force be with you. A recent report suggests Chokecherry has the highest number of fugitives per capita than any other city in the U.S. Experts say it's difficult to determine the exact number of fugitives since they're on the run from the law, but Chokecherry is reported to have more than twice as many as the next closest city. Local officials have said that the high number of fugitives have led to a shadow economy and an increase in crime. It's also caused a spike in the need for people to work in the industry of bail bond enforcement. Our special guest today will talk about this topic, including his company's top 10 list of wanted fugitives. In related news, prison officials recently sent a letter to the governor's office in Bismarck requesting additional funding and resources to help combat the overcrowding at Totten Penitentiary. Prisoners are now forced to either share small cells with others or be placed in makeshift holding cells. Security experts warn these band-aid fixes could lead to an increase in violence within the prison, as well as lead to possible escapes. The governor's office responded to our inquiries about this issue, saying they are considering reducing or even commuting prison sentences for prisoners with minor drug offenses. Let's segue into sports. The Chokecherry High School Pronghorns track team is bringing home the hardware from the recent state track meet. The Pronghorns girls and boys team were the combined overall champions at state, defeating the other close contenders from Minot, Devils Lake, and Williston. Several of the Pronghorn athletes set state records, including senior standout Emma Olson. She set the new 3,000-meter record with a blazing time of 9 minutes and 45 seconds. When asked how she runs so fast for such long distances, Olson said her years running away from predators in Chokecherry was the main contributing force. Oh my goodness. Olson has committed to running for the Oregon Ducks next season, and many are calling her the next Steve Prefontaine. Let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor before we introduce today's special guest. Outlaw Hunters of Chokecherry is actively seeking fugitive recovery agents to join our team and make a difference in our community. We're looking for brave men and women with diverse backgrounds who are willing to work long nights and weekends in often dangerous environments. Base pay starts at $75K with the potential to earn tremendous bonus when you bag the big fish. Apply right now online or in person and get ready for an exciting new career at Outlaw Hunters of Chokecherry. It's time for our interview with today's special guest. Unlike The Mandalorian or other reality TV bounty hunters, we're going to talk with a real-life bounty hunter. He's been in the industry for years and is now the CEO of Outlaw Hunters of Chokecherry. Chell Tivo, welcome to the show. Hey, thanks for having me, Chip. Perfect timing for your visit here today with the recent report about Chokecherry having the highest number of fugitives in the country. There's no shortage of work, I can assure you of that. Our business has been booming, more than North Dakota's oil industry, for the last couple of years. We've just been exploding. Problem is we can't find enough young talent to help us keep up with the problem. And what do you look for in a professional bounty hunter? Whoa, Chip, we prefer fugitive recovery agents. This isn't some made-up TV show. We're going after hardened criminals who don't want to be found and will stop at nothing to avoid going to prison. Oh, sorry about that. So you're fugitive recovery agents. They track down skips? That's right. Right, and to answer your earlier question, we need to find agents that have a variety of skills. Sure, size and physicality can help, but you have to be smart, both analytical and street smart. Helps if you can do some online research, and even better if you're good at convincing people to tell you things they wouldn't normally come right out and say. I see, and do your agents work long hours? Long and grueling, sometimes 80 to 100 hours a week, and the work is tough. We're driving around bad neighborhoods, talking to stupid people, drinking cold coffee, peeing in cups in the car, just looking for bad guys. So why do you do it then, Chell? Well, for one, we're taking criminals off the street, making Chokecherry in North Dakota a better and safer place to live. But most of us know the real reward is the adrenaline rush that comes from catching a skip. We call them adrenadolars. For every buck we make catching someone, we make $1,000 in adrenadolars. That does sound quite exciting. So how does the process all work? Walk me through it. In order for our agents to make an arrest, we need a copy of the bail piece. Think of it as a certified piece of paper indicating a person is a fugitive. The beauty about our profession is, unlike the police, we don't need a warrant, and we can enter private property unannounced. We also aren't required to read Miranda rights before making an arrest. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. So you get the bail piece, but how do you find the skip? What are your tricks? Or do you want to keep that a secret? We have a ton of tricks up our sleeves, but I can tell you the tried and true method. The first thing we do is we look for the Judas. Judas, is that like a Bible reference? Exactly. The Judas is that one person who's been scorned by the accused and is now willing to reveal the skip's whereabouts. The Judas can be a drug dealer, an ex-girlfriend, the person who put up the bail collateral, or anyone who now feels betrayed by the skip. We've had a skip's mother and father be the Judas before to teach their kids a lesson. I had no idea about any of this, and I could talk to you all day about this topic, but my producer is telling me to wrap it up. My last question is about your top 10 fugitive list. I've seen your list on posters around town. Can you tell me more about that? Sure, we keep a running list of our top 10 fugitives, which are usually tied to how dangerous they are and how high the reward is for capturing them. We have a hotline number on our posters, and we pay really good finder fees to folks who provide us tips, and even bigger bonuses to those brave individuals who come forward as the Judas. So keep your eyes peeled, Chip, and let me know if you ever spot any of those fugitives around town. I'll certainly keep that top of mind, and we'd like to thank you for your service and for making our community a better place. Lord knows we need that. Now it's time for our self-defense tip of the day. Today's tip is how to break free of duct tape restraints. That's right, breaking free of duct tape restraints. Duct tape is often used to restrain kidnapped victims because it's usually on hand and can be bought at stores without raising suspicion. To perform, first, assuming you haven't been knocked unconscious by your captors, when they attempt to bind your hands, lean forward as far as you can. Make fists with your hands to bring your wrists and forearms tightly together. This will make it easier to break the duct tape later. Second, remember to break duct tape, you have to tear it at just the right angle. Trying to pull it apart by pulling your wrists away from each other just won't work. To break duct tape, you must raise your arms over your head as high as you can. Then, in one quick move, bring your arms down while forcing your elbows to flare out past your rib cage. It's like using an axe to chop wood, but right before the blade, in this case your hands, strikes the wood, you whip your arms to the side like you're hitting your annoying brother and sister in their bellies while they're standing right next to you. The duct tape may not tear completely on the first try, so keep trying it until you succeed. Don't panic, just work to break free and get out of the area as quickly as possible. Okay then, on to our Sven and Oli joke. Oli walks into the diner and sits down next to Sven at the counter, a huge grin on his face. Sven says, "Hey Oli, what you grinning about?" Oli says, "I had a very nice date with Lena last night." "Oh, do tell." "Well, she picked me up in the new pickup of hers and we went for a drive through the woods, you know. After a spell, she pulled off the main road with this little path and stopped. She got out of the truck without turning it off and walked in front of it, where she started to take off all her clothes. Finally, buck naked in the headlights, she yells, 'Take what you will, Oli.' So I took the truck and left." Sven nodded his head. "That's mighty smart of you, Oli. Those clothes would have never fit you." Whew, all right. Well, that's a wrap on today's show. This has been Chip Wanamaker with NoDak News. You stay legendary, North Dakota.